Welcome to the Tech Sharmit podcast, where technology is not just news, but the roadmap to the future. This is a space where we explore the latest tech trends, AI, startups, gadgets, and the ideas that redefine the way we think. Leading this conversation is Amit Sharma, globally recognized as Tech Sharmit. A technologist from Bharat, Amit brings an Indian perspective to the global technology landscape. With deep technical expertise and strong industry insight, and for his contributions and impact within the global tech community, he has been recognized with several prestigious honors, including Google Developer Expert, Microsoft MVP, IBM Champion, and Planet Mainframe Influencer. Through this podcast, he shares practical knowledge, real-world perspectives, and globally relevant thinking designed to help you stay ahead in an ever-evolving technology landscape. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the Tech Sharmit channel to stay updated with future episodes. And if you're looking to level up your skills, don't forget to explore the Tech Sharmit digital course book in the description box, where you'll find thousands of free programming courses curated to help you grow as a developer. So plug in your headphones and join us as we begin today's episode of the Tech Sharmit podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Tech Sharmit podcast. Today, I'm joined by another very special guest, Geoffrey Decker, who is joining us all the way from United States. Geoffrey is an instructor at Northern Illinois University, a four-time IBM Z Champion, a member of Open Mainframe Project Governing Board, and also a three-time recipient of NIU Computer Science Excellence in Teaching Award. His journey is truly unique, transitioning from music to mainframe technology and becoming both as practitioner and educator in one of the most critical areas of computing. So today in this episode, we are going to talk about his journey. We'll explore some mainframe related questions as well. But before we get started, I would like to thank Geoffrey for joining us today in this episode. And now I request you to please initiate the discussion by telling us a bit about yourself.
Well, as Amit said, I'm a teacher at Northern Illinois University, and I've been doing that now for 24 and a half years. And I teach computer science. I teach everything from Android up to COBOL and assembler, and I guess maybe I should go backwards if I'm saying that in a lot of people's opinions. But I love what I do, and I'm getting close to retirement, but I'm trying to find a way that I can pass the things that I do at NIU on to someone that comes after me. I don't want that program to go away. Thank you for having me too.
Pleasure is ours. Okay, so yeah, as Geoffrey, like we already know about your journey that you have contributed a lot for this community, especially for the mainframe industry. So we just wanted to explore one by one all the things that you have explored in your journey. But we will start from the initial days itself. So, like you have one of the most interesting career trajectories I have ever encountered, like from music degree to becoming a four-time IBM Z champion. So, what's the story behind this transformation from music to the computing world?
Well, I started at the University of Kansas as an undergraduate in human biology. I wanted to be a doctor.
Okay.
So I was going through 4 years of the program, went through 4 years of the program, and was doing fairly well. All that time playing in the orchestra at the University of Kansas and the symphonic band. I even marched in the marching band and got to the point in my fourth year, getting close to graduation, and realized it wasn't really what I wanted to do. So I switched to a music degree, but fortunately, it was a Bachelor of Arts in music, and I had finished a lot of the requirements because um, I was a human biology major, which not was not a Bachelor of Science degree, but a Bachelor of Arts degree. So I'd finished a lot of the requirements. I just needed to catch up on my music theory and composition and music history core courses. So when I finished that degree, I worked for a couple of years in some menial jobs in the Kansas City area. Really didn't have any future in that. And of course, I needed to make money. So through a friend of a friend, I was introduced to Dr. Robert Ranney, who's a professor emeritus, the late Dr. Robert Ranney, who was a professor emeritus at Northern Illinois University. And he invited me to come to Northern Illinois University and give the Masters in Computer Science a try. And if I had done well that first summer, they would have fit me somehow into the graduate teaching assistant opportunity so that I could continue the degree. So I found a niche that I liked. I didn't really, I can say that music is my avocation. It's my first love, actually, but I found a way to make it in computer science, and I love it. So
Okay.
it's a strange trajectory, but I've heard that back in the day, IBM was trying to find people to work in computer science or work in programming and sales for them. So they sent out, and it was back before schools had computer science programs. So they sent out a memorandum or something like that saying, look for music majors or performers that want to change their career
Yeah.
and maybe hire them for IBM work. So here I am. I wasn't approached by them, but I ended up in IBM work, I guess you could say.
So I think community is very happy that you took all those decisions from changing your domain from music to the computing world. And I'm sure you also loved the trajectory that you have drawn so far
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's the community that really needs your presence because the way you have contributed in these areas, especially in the mainframe industry. So I think you are the perfect fit for this industry, and it is your work that encouraged you or inspired you to be or the computer science
Mhm.
related fields?
Yeah, I think it's been a very fulfilling uh, career, and I'm very happy about it. Very happy.
Yes. Okay. So, Jeffrey, looking back at 1986 when you just graduated with your music degree, what was your plan then? Like just after graduating, was there any particular plan that you wish to complete, and how different
Well,
did life turn out after that?
yes, I had wanted to be a conductor of
Okay.
orchestras, and whether it was in the teaching position, of course, back then you have big dreams of becoming a famous conductor, and the Austrian conductor Herbert von Karajan was my number one idol and hero, and I wanted to be just like him. So, but to do that sort of thing, you have to have probably a good, stable financial background, and I really
Yes.
didn't have that at the time. So I had to do something to make money,
Mm.
pay for my own way.
Yes, right. And I think you are still actively perform at French horn with one orchestra and I think with one band. So do you what you, like how you are managing these two things together?
Well, I play in the Kishwaukee Symphony Orchestra here in the area where I live near DeKalb, Illinois.
Okay.
And I've played third horn in that orchestra for a long, long time. I also write their program notes for their concert programs. And I really enjoyed. I actually participated on the board of directors of that orchestra. And then, excuse me, in the summertime, I play in the DeKalb Municipal Band.
Okay.
So I keep busy with playing, and I was taking graduate horn lessons at Northern Illinois University. I did that for about 15 years, and then when the professor I was studying with retired, then I had to give it up. But I really enjoy it. It's like I said, it's my first love.
Yes.
But computer science has kind of worked its way in there. So uh, I don't know really right now what my first love is.
Okay. By the way, do you see any parallels between the musical performance and the programming? Because you have worked with both areas.
Well, I really do. I think that I don't know if it's correct in saying this, but music is entirely subdivision. It's all about subdivision. And so is, of course, music and arithmetic. They're all like subdivision about things. And I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but that's how I think about it. And um, learning a programming language is a lot like learning a instrument. You have to spend time away from everyone else and just dig in and practice and practice. And so, in that way, the mindset is similar. And just like in music, you have to be both artistic and analytical. You have to
Definitely.
do the same thing in software development, programming.
Correct.
You have to use both sides of the brain at the same time,
Yes, it is needed.
right and left brain at the same time.
Correct, correct. And I think one more thing I found that both classical music as well as the mainframe technology are sometimes like dismissed as a legacy or outdated thing, mainly by those people who don't even understand them. So, but the fact is quite different, right? So, how do you respond to that kind of perception in either field, like whether it's about classical music or about the mainframe, when someone say it is dead or it is outdated thing?
Well, I always tell my assembler students that they're learning something that is the basis of much in what we do.
Yeah.
And I also say that, or tell them that, if you're studying to be a writer, a playwright, or, a screenwriter, uh, especially in the English language, you study Shakespeare. So when
Hmm.
I teach my students assembler, I kind of say to them, this is the Shakespeare of programming. This is the stuff that you really need to know so that you have an appreciation for storage and you have an appreciation for pointers and you have an appreciation for bytes. And I always tell them all bytes are created equal and that all bytes can be abused equally. So they
Mm.
really need to learn about storage and appreciate it. At NIU, assembler is a required course
Correct.
for all of our Bachelor of Science and Computer Science students. And that is probably going to change in the next few years as they want to use the IEEE's and the ACM's recent publication about computer science curriculum. They want to gear more towards that recommendation and worldwide recommendation. So uh, I just think that it's important to know the very basics of mainframe programming, and it will help students in every aspect of what they're doing.
Right. And if we talk
I
particularly
hope
about
I answered.
yes,
I
yes,
hope I
please.
answered your question.
Yes, yes, yes.
I kind of got off track there.
No, no, it's perfect. I just wanted to know about more about your journey with mainframe because you spent, I think, more than 11 plus years in Kansas City working on mainframe system, particularly for the financial industry. So, what were the
Yes.
biggest challenges and I would say the most rewarding moment when you work with financial industry? Because we all know there are so many responsibility when you are working with this kind of domain.
Well, I first worked with a company that processed mutual fund transactions. In fact, that's what I continued to do when I moved to another company in Kansas City.
Okay.
Is we we were building a brand new system in Kansas City, Missouri for Kemper mutual funds back in the day. And I was responsible for creating all of the COBOL reporting system for what was done during the business day, especially in setting up new accounts for
Mm-hmm.
new customers, new shareholders. But
Okay.
then eventually, so I spent the first 2 years of my career writing almost exclusively COBOL report programs. But then I was given the responsibility to handle the deposits system, which means anybody that made a mutual fund purchase, they would they would send in a check back in the day, or some kind of wire transfer would come in, and I wrote the system that would match the purchases, the checks, and the deposits with the actual shareholder shares being assigned to a particular shareholder's account. And that could range between 12, I think it was 12 and 16 million dollars a day.
Yeah.
So I was given quite a bit of responsibility, and most of it was mainframe. There were some front ends that we were building on the mainframe using a product known as Ideal. It's an old CA product, and so uh, it was very rewarding. It was a very rewarding thing to see, to come down to the point where I could match the deposits to the absolute penny. And it's just good stuff. I did the same thing in the job that I was transferred to DST Systems in
Mhm.
Kansas City, Missouri. I did the exact same thing and supported the Kemper system there. And so it was all dealing with mutual funds. I have my students do mutual fund processing in their reports right now in my upper level course. And we've
Yeah.
been doing that for ages.
That's great. So, you just mentioned about one thing that you initially spent 2 years of your career in the beginning with COBOL, right? While writing the COBOL programs. So, I
Yes.
just wanted to take one question on the behalf of all those students who are just about to graduate and they wanted to start their career into IT industry. So, in 2026, what is your opinion about COBOL? Is it good to start again with the COBOL? Or they do need to come up with some advanced technology along with COBOL, or how you look towards the future of COBOL now?
Well, you can do modern development in COBOL by all means, and it's object oriented now and has
Right,
unbelievable optimization and so forth. And COBOL communicates well with Java and other such languages.
right.
But I know a lot of people say, let's get rid of COBOL and replace it. Let's use AI and replace the COBOL with Java. Well, I'm of the opinion, and it may be totally wrong, that COBOL does not need to be replaced. COBOL is a really strong language.
Yes.
Train your people to write COBOL and understand COBOL because it is, once you've done C++, once you've done C, once you've done Java, and especially once you've done assembler,
Hmm.
COBOL is really easy to learn. It's got
Definitely.
some quirks, but it's a very easy language to learn. It's like English, but like I said, there's some strange things about it. I'll say that, but especially the way it handles numbers. But it handles numbers beautifully in comparison to assembler.
Yeah.
So that's what I teach my students. My students, by the time they get to the COBOL section of my upper level course, and we
Hmm.
learn all COBOL in that one section, in that one semester, along with JCL and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
It's that easy because they've had C++ for at least 3 semesters. They've had assembler for a semester. So writing COBOL is I mean, it's such an easy language in so many ways. I've
Comparative.
never understood why people want to get rid of it. And it
Hmm.
runs like a bat out of hell, as you know, because it's a mainframe language and it's been around since before 1964 when the IBM 360 came out. So
Hmm.
it's a strong language, just gotten better over the last 60 some years.
Correct. And I'm also agree with this point that instead of abandoning the COBOL, there are so many other ways through which you can adopt COBOL with modern practices. Like you can adopt COBOL, you
Yes.
can integrate it with Java if needed, you can use web APIs and other stuff that we can collaborate with COBOL technology. So instead of directly removing it or abandoning it, it's better to adopt the modernization practices.
Mhm.
And we can train the students or the folks who are interested into such type of programming. So that would also
Right.
help the industry.
Well, a lot of people don't think it's elegant. They don't think that mainframe programming is elegant and high
Yes.
powered and high visibility and all that stuff. But it really is. It really is. And why not complement your knowledge with COBOL rather than avoid it completely? So I tell students this is a way to get your foot in the door. I also tell them that any company that has a mainframe is doing everything. They're
Yes.
doing all types of technology. I mean, they're doing Android development, they're doing iOS development, they're doing front ends, web development, you name it. And if you get your foot in the door knowing COBOL in this day and age, you're going to be set because if you're tired of mainframe, you can always go somewhere else within the same
Yes.
company and do something else. It still touches the mainframe though. So
Yes. It will like enhance your skill anyway. Like if you are working with this domain for a longer time, or if you just learn it and switch to any other technology, it will enhance. It will be a add-on, right? It is not going to impact
that's
your
right.
career growth. And same goes with IBMI or RPGA technology, in which like I know like developers are adopting the modernization things there as well. So, and both
Yes,
technologies are comparatively like people consider it as a legacy, but in a recent common event also, like there was a few speaker who mentioned that it is not a legacy, it's a legendary technology. So I think
that's
we
right. I was
all
just
we
going to
all
say
are.
that. Yep. It's legendary, and the people that worked in it are legendary. And
Yes.
I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about people like Dr. Robert Rennie, my
Yes.
mentor, and some of those people before. They were absolutely brilliant. And I don't think there's any reason to get rid of COBOL. Like we always say, if it ain't broke, don't replace it, don't fix it.
Right. Okay. So, moving ahead, let's talk again about the financial system because you have expertise on that area. So, I just wanted to know one thing, like for a financial system or maybe some other mission critical system, a failure can mean a million of dollars lost, also the regulatory violation. So how did that pressure shape the developer? Like you worked as a developer, so was there any situation where you feel that no, it is very time bounded and critical thing on which you are working? How you manage that pressure?
Well, I can tell you about an incident that happened in 19, I think it was April of 1992 when I first started my career at Kemper. Um, there was a some construction going on in the tunnels underneath Chicago's financial district, and someone poked through a wall that had the Chicago River on the other side. So it was flooded immediately, and it shut down the electrical grid under the Chicago financial district
Okay.
completely. And everything had to shut down, including our Kemper mainframe that was in Chicago, although we were working in Kansas City, Missouri. We immediately had to go into disaster recovery mode because we had no choice. I think I heard, I might be wrong with this, but the Securities and Exchange Commission, I think they charge $1 million a day fine if you cannot bring your onlines up at
Mm.
the right time, at the prescribed time in the morning, and make them available for people that want to process transactions with
Yes.
money. And so we had to go into disaster recovery mode. So we called IBM. IBM brought in a brand new 370 machine and installed it in Kansas City, Missouri on the fourth floor, I think, within like 24 to 48 hours. And we brought all the tapes and brought them up in Kansas City or wherever they were. And so we were successful. Within 48 hours, we were up and running in Kansas City with our own mainframe, taking over for the one that was at 120 South LaSalle Street in the financial district in Chicago. So it is a lot of pressure, and that took a lot of time. A lot of people were working 24 hours, 48 hours without sleep, without rest, calling in for pizzas and that sort of thing. So I went through that. And then, of course, I went through Y2K. Y2K was even worse um, because a number of us had to spend time in the tunnels, the caves underneath Kansas City, Missouri, and we had to make sure that our machines were ready to go if we had to go into disaster recovery mode. I
Right.
remember I had to carry my pager on New Year's Eve, 1999, and I had to be ready to go in if there were problems. Remember, you probably don't remember, it was before your time, but
Yeah.
people were afraid of planes, jets falling out of the sky when the clock changed from, midnight 1999, December 31st, 1999, into January 1st, 2000. But it all went well. We spent 2 years making sure that we were ready for the change at DST, where I worked at the time.
Yeah, that's a great thing. And also, like you just mentioned about the IBM, like how they supported immediately after when there was a need. So this is also a beauty of our community, especially the mainframe or IBM community, that they are there. Like if there is any such incidences, they are there to help and also to collaborate whenever it is needed. So that's also something special about our community, that they are ready for each and every time whenever there is a need of them
Hmm.
or the community. That's
Hmm.
the beauty of
Well,
it.
that's exactly right. And students that come out of NIU or come into my classes, I should say, I tell them about the community, and the
Yeah,
IBM community is like no other. The mainframe community is like no other.
agree.
Um, I when I started attending Share maybe 3 or 4 years ago, things have blossomed since then for me, but especially for NIU and for our students, because they're getting all sorts of great attention from IBM and from companies that need mainframers. It's been a
Mhm.
really wonderful thing, and I really appreciate the IBM community, the mainframe community. I've never met a group of people that are more supportive of the young, and that's very important, very, very important.
Yes. Okay, so Jeffrey, like moving ahead, we will talk about some of the other accolades that comes along with your name, and that is the award which is by the NIU Computer Science Excellence Award for teaching. And I think you have won this
Mhm,
award for three times, more than three times over 17 years, right? So what do you think,
mhm.
like, what do you think students are recognizing when they give you that honor of this award multiple times? So what is their exact thought, like why they want to honor you with such a award repeatedly?
I don't know. I don't know why they give me these accolades because I'm doing what I want to do and I'm doing what I love. And it's
Yes.
not to say that I don't appreciate the recognition because it's wonderful. But it was a very big surprise when it happened.
Mm.
Um, Way back in 2005, I think was the first one. That was really a surprise because I had only been teaching, I think, for 3.5 or 4 years when I received that one. The two later ones were also a surprise, but I think what students can glean from what they learn in my classes is
Yes.
not only the technical side, and I push them really, really hard. I make them do real programming, not just theoretical stuff. I make them do
Mm.
real programming, hands-on, absolute hands-on.
Yeah.
And I think that they appreciate the fact that I'm interested in their futures, which is
Yes.
the
Right.
most important thing to me, is I want to make sure the best I can within my ability. I want to make sure that students feel that they have the support from me, and I want to introduce them as much as possible to the mainframe community because of its huge level of support. And I try to bring enthusiasm and experience into the classroom and communicate that with them as though they're my equal and my peers because you have to respect your students, you have to respect the young. Don't talk down to them like they're kindergartners. This is one thing I do. I've had a number of students that don't show up for class, and so therefore there is no textbook that I use in any of my class because there's too much that comes off the top of my head that I want to introduce while I'm teaching. And if they don't come to class, I end up having to give private lectures.
Okay.
Well, I don't have time for that, and it's very frustrating. So when I tell them they must come to class, and that if they miss two courses or two classes where I've taken roll, they're going to lose a letter grade at the end of the semester. So that gets
Yeah.
them to come for the most part. And I tell them I'm not trying to treat you like kindergartners here. I'm
Mm.
trying to save myself a lot of trouble. taking time away from me takes time away from other students.
Yes.
So yeah, and so that's you have to treat them as peers. It's important because they are, and they're beginning their professional careers.
Correct. And I
They're
think that's
beginning their
the
professional careers.
Yeah, that's the reason like why they love you as a teacher and they respect you as a teacher because you always treat them equally or like a peers. So they don't have to worry about other extra thing. They can focus on the learnings and they can ask questions freely also because
Yes.
you are also thinking about their future. So they can also relate with you and they can ask the question openly. So
Mhm.
that's a great thing about you.
I always tell them that I have a terrible nervous tick. It's not really a nervous tick, but I tell them that I have a tick because I'm always saying, any questions? Or is it clear? Or is that is that understandable? I'm always asking that.
Hmm.
And it's because I want to see their reaction. I love face to face
Yeah.
so that I can get their reaction to and see, if they do this or if they do this. And I
Correct.
ask them to let me know by their faces if they're understanding the material, especially in assembler, because
Oh.
that is not intuitive.
Great. Okay, so now, although like there are so many things that we can discuss here, especially about your accolades and your achievement, but we are short on time, so I just want to take a couple of more questions. And one question is regarding to your recent involvement because you were recently named to be the governing board of the Open Mainframe project. So,
Mhm.
Geoffrey, could you please explain it in a very simple terms, like for those who are unfamiliar about this project, what is this organization doing, and why does it matter in 2026?
Well, as we know, the open source is so important to bringing everyone together and creating and sharing. And the Open Mainframe project is a pipeline for that. And I haven't had the chance to really participate to the level that I want to, and I'm looking forward to doing that after I retire. But
Okay.
it's been an honor to have been invited to sit on the governing board, and I hope to do a lot more in the future. The Open Mainframe project has a number of sub-projects that are bringing more knowledge and to the mainframe world, and also opening. I hope to open up more um, educational stuff through my position on the Open Mainframe project board, governing board. It's an honor to do it, and the sooner I can get more involved, the better, as far as I'm concerned. It's an important, it's an
Yes.
important project. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I think we have discussed a bit about technical things and about your journey. And I think now it's time to know about the support system because I believe that behind every successful person, there is a support of network. So looking back on your own career, who were the key people around you who had a defining impact on your journey?
Well, I can first of all talk about my late parents.
Yes.
They were always very supportive of me, and when I switched when I switched at the University of Kansas from my human biology degree program to music, they were very supportive of that, even though I'm sure they worried about what in the dickens I was going to do for a living after I finished. I would like to have become a conductor, as I said, or gone on to get a master's and a PhD in music and maybe taught music history. But I was given the opportunity to go to NIU through Dr. Robert Ranney. Dr. Robert Ranney and the department chair at NIU's Department of Computer Science, Dr. Rodney Angadi, the two of them were my number one mentors.
Okay.
And the late Dr. Angadi was like a second father to me at the time of my master's degree. My father was sick, and Dr. Ngadi kind of stepped in and led me down the right path and gave me opportunities when I messed up. He gave me opportunities to straighten things out. And Dr. Robert Ranney was not only a financial help, but he was also the most difficult teacher I've ever had. and he was very hard on me. He was very hard on all of us students. I don't agree with his teaching techniques that he used at the time, but I'll tell you what, when I came out of his CSCI 568 Systems Programming 2 course, I knew how to write assembler and I knew about the multiple virtual system, MVS. So that's pretty much, those are the people that really supported me. My family and my sisters, and of course, Dr. Robert Ranney and Dr. Angadi. So they gave me every opportunity. They're the reason I am where I am today.
It's very, I would
That and
say,
a lot of sweat off the brow.
it's good to know like how your mentor supported you in your initial days, and same thing now you are doing for the students, because with your teaching skills you have touched so many lives of the students and to build their better opportunities, and to get to help them to get their better opportunities and to build their career. So
Hmm.
thank you for all the stuff
Yeah.
you're doing for the students, especially.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to do it.
Yes. Okay, so before we wind up, I just want to take one last question, and it is related to the place you belong from. So, what's the one thing about United States that you feel proud to share with the rest of the global audience or the world?
Well, I'm I'm very proud of the fact that the mainframe was primarily developed here and by some extraordinary men at IBM, like Fred Brooks. And I think that, and it'll come back. It's kind of bad right now, but it'll
Yes.
come back that we are welcoming to students from all over the world.
Yes.
And I believe that will change back to what it was in the future. And I think, um, we're a world culture anymore, especially in software development and in programming. We're a world culture. We're not really American. We're not really Japanese. We're not really Chinese. We're all together in this fight, especially because the mainframe runs the world's economy. And so we have to work as a world's culture and as a world's community in order to succeed in this. And I think the United States has kind of led the way in the past, and I have full confidence that that will come back sometime soon. So I don't want the world to think that the United States has stepped that far backwards that we can't go forwards again. And I have confidence that that will be the case.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So thank you so much, Geoffrey, for joining us today in this episode and for sharing so much information about mainframe industry, and also for telling about your interesting journey from a biology student to musician and then to converting into the mainframe expert. It was really a pleasure talking with
Mhm.
you. I hope you also enjoyed the discussion.
Yes, I did, and I thank you very much. It's been enlightening. I appreciate it. It's
Thank
an honor to be here.
you. Pleasure is mine. Thanks.